Hello everyone and welcome to the GMAT Advanced Target 700 series. Today we are going to see the 21st installment of the series and we are going to discuss some critical reasoning questions based on the concept of assumptions. Assumptions being one of the primary categories of questions from which questions for the critical reasoning section are expected in the GMAT exam. For those of you who are new to the series, I would request you to go back and look at the other sessions. If you want to look at the other topics that we have discussed in critical reasoning, those can be found from session 16 to 20. If you are looking for sessions on reading comprehension, those can be found from the series 1 to 15 of this whole advanced series that has been created for you to help and ace the GMAT and get a 700 plus score. So without any further ado, let's start. Now, the first question that we are going to see today is going to be a very, very basic assumptions question. And assumptions as a category, if you tend to look at it, the difficulty level can range from very easy questions to moderately difficult questions. Unlike inference, there will not be very, very tough questions that will come in from assumptions because assumptions are some elements that flow very logically into the passage, unlike inferences, which can have multiple dimensions in which questions can come. We'll certainly see inference questions in the later part of this series, stay tuned for that. But let's today discuss this particular question for assumptions. Now, it says that the interview is an essential part of a successful hiring program because with it, job applicants who have personalities that are unsuited to the requirements of the job will be eliminated from consideration. Let's look at the question. It says the argument above logically depends on which of the following assumptions. Okay, so it's a very simple argument. It says the interview is essential because personalities unsuited to the requirements of the job will be eliminated. All right, so this is a very simple argument. Let's look at the options below. Option A says the hiring program will be successful if it includes interviews. So this can be an outcome of the argument above, but it is certainly not an assumption on which the argument depends. Okay, there is a difference between an assumption and an outcome. Similarly, like there is a difference between cause and effect. Okay, so this certainly is not our answer. The interview is a more important part of a successful hiring program than is the development of a job description. So this is something on which, as we have seen in the past also, we have no information. We cannot comment on this. There is no information about the importance of job description in the given argument. And this also is not our answer. Option C, interviewers can accurately identify applicants whose personalities are unsuited to the requirements of the job. Now, this is very crucial. Okay, so we are saying that interviews help because you can weed out people's personalities that are unsuited to the job. Okay, but you have to do that at a high level of accuracy. Okay, what if there are a lot of errors? This whole process becomes useless. Okay, so it needs to be accurate. All right, and this is what this option says. It says that interviewers can accurately identify applicants. Because if they can't, we are actually in a soup. This is a very good choice for an answer. Let's look at the other options. Option D says the only purpose of an interview is to evaluate whether job applicants' personalities are suited to the requirements of the job. So this is kind of like just reiterating the argument that has been given. Okay. This is an aspect which we cannot comment, that whether it is the only purpose or not, there is no information. This is just the reiteration of the argument. There is nothing new. Okay, this is a reiteration. And be careful of reiterations in assumption questions. No, nothing new. No new information is coming. Let's look at the option E. The fit of job applicants' personalities to the requirements of the job was once the most important factor in making hiring decisions. So this is again very irrelevant to the whole thing. Why is it irrelevant? Because it is talking about how once it was important, now it is not important. Time is not of essence here. Time period is not of essence. Okay, hence option E also is wrong. So you've seen it's a very simple question. You are looking at an argument. This is a very logical piece of that argument. All right. So if you are looking at interviews as a ways to recruit people, it better be accurate. Okay. If you are trying to figure out what personalities are suited, unsuited to a job, it has to be accurate for the whole thing to work. All right. So option C is our answer. Let's look at the next one. It says traditionally decision making by managers that is reasoned step by step has been considered preferable to intuitive decision making. However, a recent study found that top managers used intuition significantly more than did most middle or lower level managers. This confirms the alternative view that intuition is actually more effective than careful methodical reasoning. Okay. So we have, a traditional decision making, step by step, logical. Okay. Then you have intuitive decision making. Intuitive decision making is like you make decisions on a hunch, or you think something is right because of your prior experiences. That is what is meant by intuitive. A recent study has found that top managers, they use intuition a lot more than middle and lower level managers. And then just because these guys are using it more, the passage is saying that intuition is more effective than careful methodical reasoning. So this is what becomes your argument. Or in this case, it's kind of confirmed. So this becomes your conclusion. Okay, so the difference between an argument and the conclusion is that an argument leaves the whole thing open to debate, whereas a conclusion takes a very firm stand. All right. So this conclusion above, the conclusion being that intuition is more effective than careful methodical reasoning, is based on which of the following assumptions. Okay, so now let's look at the options. The first one says methodical step-by-step reasoning is inappropriate for making many real-life management decisions. This is opposite to what is this talk about methodical step-by-step reasoning is inappropriate for making many real-life management decisions. So see, this is okay, but this is not really talking about intuition being more effective than methodical reasoning. We are looking for an option that will give you some hint about intuitive decision making. That is missing here. Okay. Let's look at option B. It says top managers have the ability to use either intuitive reasoning or methodical step-by-step reasoning in making decisions. This again is something that tells you that they have the ability to use. So we are very sure they can use both. And we also know that they have chosen one. We need to figure out whether the one that has been chosen is actually more effective, because we have the frequency. We know that they use intuitive decision making more, right? But just like in the previous question, we still don't know how accurate they are when they are using it. Just frequency alone is not enough to comment. Okay, so you have frequency here. So you can be frequently using a method, but if you are getting the wrong result every time, then there's no point in using that. Okay, so this also will not be our answer. Let's look at option C. The decisions made by middle and lower level managers can be made as easily by using methodical reasoning as by using intuitive reasoning. Again, this is like option A. It is not talking about the crux. Crux is missing. Because what is the crux? These are all good options. Okay, option A might be true. Option C might also be true, but they are not hitting the question right on the head, because we have to prove that if they have been using it frequently, they better also be more effective while using it. Option D says top managers use intuitive reasoning in making the majority of their decisions. Again, this is a reiteration. It is already given, right? Okay, they use intuition more significantly more than middle or lower level managers. So we know. You are just reiterating the fact. Option E says top managers are more effective at decision making than middle or lower. So this is what we have been looking for, right? So we have said that, okay, we have the frequency. We know for sure that senior level managers, they use intuition much more. But how often are they right? If you are using it a lot and you are right most of the time, then why should you be thinking about any other method like methodical reasoning, right? If intuition is working for you 90% of the time, great, go ahead with it, right? So this is something on which your conclusion will depend. If we can conclude by saying that they use it a lot and they are very effective at decision making, then we know for sure that this is a good method to go for. All right. So I hope you were able to follow these questions. If not, you can go back to both these questions, look at them at your own pace, and again try to figure out what is that one missing link in the passage, which if it was there would have helped you take a position, strengthen the argument or weaken the argument, because that essentially is the crux of every assumption question. All right, looking at what is the missing link, which if there would have helped you understand the passage better or take a position better. Okay, we'll continue on more assumption questions in the upcoming video. Till then, take care.